The Kingdom of Farrun is situated in the north of High Rock and is one of the 8 kingdoms of the Bretons. Unlike the other kingdoms and cities we've covered, Farrun was initially founded by the Orcs as a stronghold. Founded by the Farrun clan sometime before the Alliance War, its harsh winters and icy conditions were meant to act as a natural deterrent to the Bretons. The stronghold became notorious for its complex prison system. The Orcs used the city to protect the scrolls of Malakath, which were said to be written by the Daedra itself. Thus, the city became home to the archivists of Malakath. However, by the interregnum of the Second Era, Chief Bazrag Grofarun refused to submit to his lifelong friend King Kurag of Orsinium due to the latter's worship of Trinimac. Because of this, Farrun did not join the Daggerfall Covenant in 582 of the Second Era. With the conclusion of the Plane Meld and the Alliance War, Kurag began to rebuild Orsinium in an attempt to build a new kingdom of Hrothgar. Bazrag resisted this attempt and enlisted several other chiefs to create some form of a resistance movement against this. However, Kurag hired the Vashrak to assassinate the rival chiefs. The Vashrak were a group of assassins, or I guess a cult, that worshipped Trinimac, and at this point most orcs didn't worship Trinimac anymore. It was actually more Malakath that they worshipped at this time, and it kind of contributes a little bit into this rivalry in itself. Farrun was seized by the Vashrak, who then threw its people in their own prison. Bazrag was fortunate enough to be released and rescued by the Vestige, who foiled Kurag's plot. Kurag would later die, and Trinimac worship alongside with him. Orsinium itself would return to Malakath worship, and the Vashrak would flee Farrun in fear of what those who survived would do to them. It is unknown what happens to them after they flee the city. As for Bazrag, the surviving chiefs of the remaining clans elected him to be the king of Hrothgar, thus uniting the dream that Kurag started. However, as time passed, mistrust of the Orcs gradually reasserted itself in Breton culture, and Orsinium collapsed. With it, Farrun later fell to the increasing Breton pressure, sometime in either the late Second Era or the early Third Era. As a result, a Breton king and queen were established, and Farrun would become a Breton kingdom from there on out. At some point, Farrun would go to war with Solitude sometime in the late Third Era. However, the results of this remain somewhat disputed. There aren't any decisive answers of what happens or why they fought this war. We just know that they did. During the Imperial Simulacrum in the Third Era, Farrun was ruled by King Justiric, and Farrun remained somewhat isolated by the rest of High Rock due to its location in the province, and as such, it became one of the 5 remaining kingdoms to absorb everything else around it after the warp in the west. As for Farrun right now, there isn't much known about the city in the present day of 201 of the 4th Era, which is kind of shocking to me considering its proximity to Skyrim. It's not the closest kingdom to Skyrim, however, it is the second closest, with the one other being Joanna, which is situated to the southeast of the city of Farrun. But I find Farrun quite interesting because it didn't start as a Breton city, and yet it became one, which is kind of a shame considering what happens to the orcs throughout their whole history. I didn't know Farrun was initially an orcish settlement, which was in itself an accomplishment considering how all the other races kind of treat the orcs. But with that being said, that is all we have today. Unfortunately, Farrun is no longer ruled by the orcs, at least in my opinion. But I figured, like I said, I'm going to be doing all the kingdoms or city-states of High Rock, and Farrun was just kind of the next on the list. And I figured I might as well tackle this one because it's one of the lesser-known ones of High Rock. At least when I think of High Rock, it's obviously Daggerfall and Wayrest are the 2 main ones, and then it's North Point and Shornhelm are the next ones. So I feel like Farrun is one of the lesser-known ones, and I figured might as well tackle it now while I have this interest in my head. But with that, I do have a few other topics I plan on discussing in the relative future. Sorry about the late release of this video. This video was initially going to come out at 1 p.m. today. However, it was my birthday yesterday, and I didn't get around to editing it, and I just played games and messed around all day yesterday. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next video, and I hope to see you all in the Discord chat. The link is in the description below, and I hope to see you all around. Peace. If you enjoyed, please like this video because it really lets me know you're enjoying this content. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. The links are right here for you to click on, and the Discord chat link is right here as well. And overall, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.